Hey everyone, welcome to Storytime with Miss Kathrin. I'm so glad y'all could join in. I'm going to be sharing another story from my favorite series, Tales That Tell the Truth. Today I'm going to be sharing The Friend Who Forgives, a true story about how Peter failed and Jesus forgave. This is written by Dewitt and illustrated by Catalina Echeverri. All right, everyone, let's dive in. A long time ago, there was a man named Peter who was best friends with Jesus. Peter was a fisherman. He was strong and brave, but he often said the wrong thing. Do you ever talk before you think? That's what Peter did. Again and again and again. Peter loved fish. In fact, one day he and Jesus had fish for breakfast. Fish for breakfast. That's weird. But we will save that part of the story until the end. On the day when Jesus first called Peter to follow him, can you guess what Peter was doing? That's right, Peter was fishing. Follow me, and I will make you a fisher of men, Jesus told him. Can you imagine that? Peter fishing for men? Jesus explained that just as Peter liked to search for fish, Jesus had come to search for people who needed forgiveness. Peter loved being friends with Jesus. He saw Jesus do a lot of amazing things. One time, Peter's mother-in-law was sick. Jesus healed her. Another time, Peter was about to drown in a storm. Jesus saved him. Slowly, Peter realized that Jesus was more than a friend. He was God. He would never let Peter down. But sometimes Peter let Jesus down. Like the time Jesus explained to his friends that he had to die on the cross, but that he would come back to life to offer forgiveness. All of you will run away. You are going to say, "You are not my friends," Jesus said. Peter spoke up right away. He did that a lot. "I will never do that," Peter said. But Jesus told him, "Before the rooster crows in the morning, you will say 3 times that you are not my friend." I would never do that. Jesus is my best friend, Peter thought. When soldiers came to take Jesus to the cross, Peter pulled out his sword to stop them. "Put away your sword, Peter," Jesus said. "My Father says this must happen." Jesus let the soldiers take him to a courtyard to stand trial. Peter followed them from far away. "Aren't you one of Jesus's friends?" a young girl asked as she opened a gate for Peter to enter the courtyard. "What do you think?" Peter said. "No, I don't know Jesus." It was a cold night, so Peter walked over to a fire where some people were warming themselves. "Aren't you one of Jesus's friends?" someone asked Peter. "What do you think?" Peter said. "No, I don't know Jesus." Then someone else stepped forward and looked closely at Peter. "Yes, you are one of Jesus's friends, aren't you?" he said. "What do you think?" Peter said. "No, I don't know Jesus." Right then, at that very moment, a rooster crowed. Jesus turned around and looked straight at Peter. Then Peter remembered that Jesus had said, "Before the rooster crows, you will say 3 times that you are not my friend." Peter was so sad. He knew he had failed Jesus again and again and again. He didn't just need to find other people who needed forgiving. He needed forgiving too. Peter felt terrible. He ran out of the courtyard and he cried and cried and cried. Peter had let his best friend down, and now it was too late because the soldiers had taken Jesus away to be killed. But Peter didn't stay sad because Jesus didn't stay dead. 3 days later was the first Easter Sunday, when Jesus came back to life to offer people forgiveness. But would he forgive Peter for failing so badly? One day, Jesus was looking for Peter. Where do you think Jesus found him? That's right. Peter and his friends were fishing. Jesus called to them from the beach, and Peter jumped out of the boat into the water and rushed to the beach to see Jesus. And this is where Jesus and Peter had fish for breakfast. Fish for breakfast, that's weird. Peter was so happy to see Jesus alive, but would Jesus forgive him? Peter wasn't sure. Maybe Jesus wouldn't want to talk to him. Maybe Jesus wouldn't want to be friends with him. But yes, Jesus did want to talk to Peter, and yes, Jesus did want to forgive Peter. Whoa! And since Peter had said he didn't know Jesus 3 times, Jesus gave Peter the chance to say 3 times, "I love you, Jesus." That's how Peter became a forgiven fisher of men. Peter spent the rest of his life telling people about his best friend, Jesus. He told them that if they put their trust in Jesus, he would forgive them again and again and again. That's because Jesus was Peter's best friend. He forgave him again and again and again. And if you trust in Jesus, he will forgive you too, again and again and again. So, how do we know about the friend who forgives? The 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, all tell us about Peter's exciting friendship with Jesus. But then Jesus was arrested, and Peter pretended 3 times that he didn't know Jesus. Then Jesus was killed on the cross, and it seemed like the end of everything. But Jesus didn't stay dead. The last chapter in John's Gospel tells us that Jesus came to find Peter to forgive him. 3 times Jesus asked, "Do you love me?" And 3 times Peter answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." That's how Peter became a forgiven fisher of men. From then on, Peter told other people about Jesus and how they could be forgiven too, again and again and again. Peter even wrote part of the Bible for us so that we can hear him telling us about the friend who forgives too in 1 Peter. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Until next time. Bye.